set off for the great unknown. Didn't we hear that voice that sent our spirits reeling, trembling before the shores, but couldn't shake the feeling? This is the moment. Everything's clear. We know who we are. We know why we're here before. All we have are feathers caught in the wind. We'll raise a monument. Mountain tops that called our name, looming closer day by day. Didn't they seem so small when standing at a distance? Looking back, I can't recall a path of worse resistance. This is the moment. Everything's clear. We know who we are. We know why we're here before. All we have are feathers caught in the wind. We'll raise a monument. One day we say we've come alive, the next we think we've lost our minds. Are we crazy? Are we doing well? It's getting harder and harder and harder to tell. It's getting harder and harder and harder to tell. It's getting harder and harder and harder to tell. Write it all down in stone. I know this won't last long. This is the moment. Everything's clear. We know who we are. We know why we're here. This is the moment. Everything's clear. We know who we are. We know why we're here before. All we have are feathers caught in the wind. We'll raise a monument.
This song's called Alone Together.
I've heard everybody talking. I've heard that the worst is yet to come. They say we won't even notice. They say it's a matter of time. They say we're two birds singing in a cage in a coal mine. Well, I don't wanna be alone together. I don't wanna be close like stars, side by side, my love, but still a million miles apart. I'm not scared that you're gonna leave like stars. Side by side, my love, but still a million miles apart. I don't wanna spend a life pretending, tied together and tired of a never-ending story of us ever falling out of love. I don't wanna be alone together. I don't wanna be alone together. I don't wanna be alone together. I don't wanna be alone. I don't wanna be alone together. I don't wanna be close like stars. Side by side, my love, is still a million miles apart. I don't wanna spend a life pretending, tied together and tired of a never-ending story of us ever falling out, of ever falling out, of ever falling out of love.
Thank you all so much. My name is Jenna, and this is Chris. Hello. And we are married. That is how we know each other. And often that works its way into our songwriting. Chris and I were both songwriters before we were writing completely collaboratively together. So in that process, our marriage comes up a lot. And you might have heard that in that last song, Alone Together, where we were talking a lot just about our different fears in marriage, the things that we were afraid of, the things that we wanted for our marriage. And it also comes up in this next song, which is called We're Getting Better. One day, Chris was leaving for his other job that he was working at the time, and he said, all right, I'm going to go to work, write a song about how much you love me. And
For the record, I was joking. I didn't
he
think she would
was,
do it.
but I need motivation. So I said, all right, I'll do that. So I did, and then we worked on it together, and here it is. It's called We're Getting Better.
I like the way you ramble when you got something on your mind. You talk in circles, but you used to keep it locked away inside. Time is loosening your tongue. I'd like to think it's only bigger, and we're getting better every day. We're taking the hard times, using them to create something that's better every day. I love the way you call me baby right before you let me know. The kitchen is a mess, and I'm the one who let it go. It used to get under your skin. Now you take a breath before you begin, and we're getting better every day. We're taking the hard times, using them to create something that's better every day. We're both changing. Oh, please be patient. You're gonna have to show grace and grace. I'm bound to lose track. So help me turn back and take a look at all of the ways we're getting better. Yeah, we're getting better every day. We're taking the hard times, using them to create something that's better. It's gonna get better. It keeps getting better every day.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, so as we are songwriting and things, this is not something that was always my full-time job or Chris's full-time job. It was one of those hobbies that I would come back to and just had such a love for writing songs and such a love for singing. And yet there's also a lot of other things that I really like in my life and a lot of other things that I love. And so often it seemed like songwriting and singing and playing the piano would end up being the last thing that I would actually get to, even though it's the thing that I feel like God really put on my heart to do. There's so much else that I like to do that it would get put off. So I don't know if any of you have heard of Marie Kondo. Have you heard her name going around lately? So she's been very popular in this whole new oncoming trend of minimalism and just getting rid of stuff that you don't need. And I certainly need to do that physically. I certainly need to get rid of stuff that's in my closet. But I also really need to do that with my time and my energy and the way that my schedule looks, because it became so apparent that, you know, if I'm trying to do everything that I really like and love, if I'm getting coffee with everybody that I love, if I'm trying to see every movie that I like, if I'm just chasing all these things equally, the things that God really put on my heart are not going to get what they deserve. So it means laying down not just things that are bad for you, but things that might in fact be good for you in order to get to the really best things. So that's been a huge lesson for me, and we wrote a song about it, and it's called Come Clean.
And it's called Come Clean.
Cut back what you want. Get back what you need. This is how we come clean. But you can have what you love, love. You're gonna be what you love, whether you like it or not. You want it all, you wanna be free. There's gonna be a price, and it's deeper than it seems. Now you took it loose, you threw out your caution, didn't do it ever seem go, but you drowned in pieces of your heart. Got time to a lot, and they're pulling at the reins with whatever they got. Give less, fence yourself in. Freedom is the presence of the right restrictions. Of the right restrictions. It's the presence of the right. Cut back what you want, what you want. Get back what you need, what you need. Cut back what you want, what you want. Get back what you need, what you need. This is how we come to be. This is how we come to be. This is how we come to be.
So I don't know if anyone here knows, but just this past month was the 107th anniversary of the Titanic sinking. I don't know if anyone follows that. I'm a history guy, so it's always interesting to me. But this next song is actually based on one of my favorite pieces of Titanic folklore. And the story goes that, well, it's about two people, really. The first is a man named Wallace Hartley, who led the band aboard the boat. If you know that story, you know that as the boat was sinking, this man led the band to continue playing music as the boat was going down. And the other part of the story, which I did not know, says there's an orphan at the exact same time named Jessie over in Scotland. And in the middle of the night while all of this is happening, she wakes up in the orphanage and has a vision of this man leading this band in this boat as it's sinking into the sea, which I thought was the craziest thing in the world. So as I thought more and more about that story and just what those musicians must have been faced with, I just couldn't understand it myself. Like, as a musician, being on this boat, you see everything's falling apart, and it's a disaster, and you say, how could anything I have to offer today make any difference? It's not going to stop the boat from going down, you know? Everything's going to go. So, but we learned that their music did make an impact. As they played music, it kept peace, and it kept people calm, and it allowed women and children to get to lifeboats. It allowed a lot of people to survive. And if I was in that situation, I would not be looking around thinking like, hey, this seems like a good time to start playing some songs. What do you think? Like, it would not have crossed my mind. And I just admired that so much. So I guess if you're feeling a little bit like that, you're looking at what you have to offer, and you're looking at everything before you and saying like, I don't see how this is going to make any bit of difference at all. I would just encourage you to keep doing it. Keep offering that up. Keep sacrificing, because so often the people it's going to affect are not the people you're going to get to see. But I promise you it's affecting someone. So this is a story about that whole thing. It's called The Ballad of Wallace and Jessie.
The ship on the ocean was miles from the shore. They heard a great crash like an out-of-tune chord. The crew exchanged glances beneath the big April moon. The ship was going down and there was nothing they could do. Oh, the ship was going down and there was nothing they could do. Before any panic had a chance to set in, a man raised his bow and his old violin. He summoned up his courage, he summoned up the band to hold fast till the end, like a soldier's last stand. To hold fast till the end, like a soldier's last stand. gave them a gift they could not give him back. Orphanage in Scotland, beneath the same moon, Jessie woke from a dream of a ship and her crew. She cried, "Can't you hear it? The song on the waves." And with one final breath, Jessie drifted away.
Thank you so much. So you might have heard me say earlier that we were not always doing music as our full-time thing. And that has happened within the last 2 years. So it has been a period of great change for us. Oh my gosh, so many changes. And change is so fun, right? It's so good. And it's just so easy, right? It's just really fine all the time. Oh man. So in this period of time, I'm an emotional girl, and I feel lots of feelings, and I feel them very much. And so sometimes it's hard for me to not get swept up in that. Sometimes it's hard for me to regain my footing of what's true compared with how I'm feeling and what I'm worried about. And I've seen that as we have willingly followed God into this career where he kind of called us out of things that we felt like were safe. And I've seen my worry in that and my fear in that come out. But I've also seen it come out in the things that you can't plan for, the things that come where tragedy strikes and none of us expect those things or can plan for them. And I have seen that happen in the lives of friends who I love dearly. I look at some of their lives and I say, God, you know, we need to have a conversation because I don't understand why all of this is going on. But the thing that I have been so grateful for learning is about how we can interact with all of that when it comes. That we can let it all inside and we can let it completely take over, or we can learn how to float. We can let God teach us through those things that come our way. We don't have to get taken out by each wave that comes and crashes. And I read a Eugene Peterson quote that said, I'm not gonna not phrase it exactly how he said it, but he just made the point that all of the water in the ocean, which is so much, it can't drown you unless you let it inside, unless you swallow it. So that was so important for me to remember that we wrote this next song, which is called Water. So I hope it's a reminder to you to just, when the waves come, when the storms come, let them teach you and float.
Charted out a course, ocean can't drown you unless you let it in. So don't you let it in. If the choice is sink or swim, breathe hard, don't let the water in. No, don't you let it in. All the water in the ocean can't drown you unless you let it in. So don't you let it in. If the choice is sink or swim, breathe hard, don't let the water in. No, don't you let it in. Don't let the water in. No, don't let it get in. Don't let the water in. No, don't you let it in.
Thank you so much. So this next song is about a family we know who we're really close to. Chris and I aren't parents, at least at this point. Who knows? But we have been so grateful to have so many friends in our church family and in our town that we just get to love on their kids and get to be a part of their families. And one of them that we're really close to, we had heard them call one of their daughters their miracle baby a couple of times, but we didn't really know that story. And one day, the mother, Anastasia, and I were going to visit another friend in the hospital who was there with her child. And on the way back home, Anastasia was talking to me of just, this brings back so many memories of being down here for so long when the twins were born. And I said, yeah, tell me more about that. What happened? And she started to share the story with me of when the girls came, that the doctors were warning her and her husband that one of these baby girls was likely not going to survive. And just the heartache that they felt and her desperation and her prayers to God and just not knowing how this was going to turn out and needing to trust him. And I came home and I relayed all of this to Chris, and we were just so struck because we love this girl. She's this thriving teenager, and we had no idea that all of this had gone on and that it continued throughout her childhood. And we realized that if one of those moments had gone differently, we wouldn't know her, and we would know her family very differently without this beautiful girl as a part of it. So it made us really mindful of trying to be present with the people in our life and wanting to really treasure them and not take anyone for granted and to not take any time with them for granted. Because God knows our stories, but we don't get to know the number of days that we're here on this earth. So it made us really want to love well with that time and to just be so thankful. So this song is for her and tells her story, and it's for people who love everywhere, and it's called Abigail.
Listening up there, save my baby, I don't care what I have to do. If you can prove the doctor's wrong, I swear I'll dedicate her life to you. Everybody heard us crying when she came into the world too soon. The movie in my mind is playing of everything I thought she'd do. I can't believe that I might not get to know. I can't believe that I might not get to know. All I ever wanted is wrapped up here in something so pretty and frail. Don't leave me holding my head when I wanna hold Abigail. It's me again, I guess it never ends. They say she needs a brand new heart. All of this time we thought she'd be fine, but there was trouble from the start. It was working too hard these last few years. They say one day it might just stop. My little girl is making plans and needs some time for all the dreams she's got. I can't believe that she might not get to know. I can't believe that she might not get to know. Tell me all about that love you say is never gonna leave or fail. I'm holding on to you, oh won't you hold
the time just flies by. Look at all the ways she's grown. Look at all the things that I'd be missing and I never would have known. Look at how the time just flies by. Look at all the ways she's grown. Look at all the things that I'd be missing. I still can't believe everything I get to know. Sometimes at night when she's fast asleep, I hold my hand over her heart. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we, in the process of releasing our album's called Monument, and it's the same name as the first song that we put out, or that we played for you today. And in the process of releasing it, we were releasing like one song at a time on Spotify and places. And we weren't going to release this next song as a single. We were just going to put it out on the full album. And in that plan, I also found convenient reasons not to play it at any show for about a year. And I just, every time we had a set list come up, I'd say, oh, no, we don't need that one, it's fine. And interestingly, at the same time, I was going through one of the hardest years of my life. I had left my job and was exploring what it was like to play music full time, which is a huge change. And on top of that are some of those things that you just can't plan for. And I just got nailed in a couple of different things all at the same time. And in the months following that, I just kept trying harder and kept saying to myself, do better. What's wrong with you? Pull yourself up. Let's go. And that striving kept continuing and not working. And eventually, it got so long and went so unchecked that eventually it was time to call it by another name and realize that I was dealing with depression and anxiety. And it wasn't a matter of me just trying harder out of my own strength, but that I needed to be healed. I needed to be healed by the Lord. I needed to be healed in a lot of different ways through counseling and amazing things. And God is doing so much work in my soul as a result of that. And I mean, it's not fun, but I wouldn't have had it any other way because he's remaking me, he's going way deep down to the foundations and rebuilding me in some beautiful ways. And in that season, when we pulled this song out to release it as a single, I was so struck by, oh my gosh, this is the song that I needed to hear. This is what no wonder I was avoiding it. This is what I needed to hear. It's called Battle, and I wrote it after going through the Armor of God study that Priscilla Shirer wrote. And it talks all about so concretely putting the armor of God on to protect ourselves. And I needed this reminder that I am in a battle and I need to suit up, but also that I don't fight that battle by myself, that the Lord enters in, that Jesus has come alongside us and he has put on flesh and been able to fight right alongside. So if you're facing any kind of a battle, just know that you're not facing that by yourself and that it is possible to fight back. And it cannot be won just by striving, but it needs to be won by the Lord and by his work in our lives.
Voices ring in my head tonight. I'm starting to see truth and a lie, that I'm less than I'm supposed to be. If there's help up on the way. Please come for me. I can feel the battle for my soul. The fight is real and takes its toll. I can feel the battle for my heart. The war is won, but I still seem so far. Steady now, and steady on. Surrounded by my worst mistakes, the hurt that I've caused, the promises I break, that tell me this is who I am, and I find myself back where I began. You whisper, cling to my words. I'm paralyzed, I can never hurt. I can feel the battle for my soul. The fight is real and takes its toll. I can feel the battle for my heart. The war is won, but I still seem so far. Steady now, and steady on. The trumpet sounds at break of day. I see my Savior running, charging forth. He shouts my name, and he won't back down. Hear it rising in his way. There's a new song coming, a battle cry with one refrain. Steady now, steady
So, as we said, we have not done this job forever. And there was a period of time where I was afraid to admit that I wanted to do anything different than what my life was currently looking like. And I would think about it, and I knew deep down that there was something else that I was supposed to do, but I didn't know what it was. And there were so many options that it was just paralyzing. And so I would just not think about it and put it away. And my prayers looked like, God, what should I do? Anyway, moving on. And this You know, it's funny how for me, songwriting is where things come out that I'm maybe not completely ready to talk about yet, but they start to eke their way out there. And journaling, when I'm praying, things start to flow out. And this song, we were working on it, and as the lyrics started taking shape, this was the conversation that we needed to be having about whether we needed to somehow just wait for a day where we felt brave enough to make a change, or whether we could go while we still felt scared. And we have found that that is how God is meeting us, that He meets us where we're afraid, and He leads us out, and He gives us courage while we're on the journey. It's not some magical day where we finally feel like we're brave enough and ready to go. So this was kind of my accidental love letter to myself in that season. And it's such a good reminder to us of like, all right, so far maybe the changes haven't come, but they're still coming. They can still be there.
I've been dreaming of the daybreak, a chance to leave this all behind. When I won't bow to all the doubts who keep me tossing in my sleep at night. I say I'm making for adventure. When adventure comes to call, I slam the door and just ignore it, so I don't have to make a choice at all. But this time tomorrow morning, oh, this time it's gonna change. And this time tomorrow morning, oh, I won't be the same. I've been watching on a wide screen, fearless heroes saving lives. What could I give? How would I live if I left today to go save mine? But this time tomorrow morning, oh, this time it's gonna change. And this time tomorrow morning, oh, I won't be the same. And this time tomorrow morning, oh, this time it's gonna change for you and me. And this time tomorrow morning, oh, I won't be the same. Stop me if you've heard this one before. We long for so much more than what we know. We can make a choice to leave the shore, a make-believe we did not want to go. Stop me if you've heard this one before. We long for so much more than what we know. We can make a choice to leave the shore. Courage waits to find you. A make-believe we did not want to go. A make-believe we did not want to go. gonna change. This time tomorrow morning, oh, I won't be the same. Oh, I won't be the same. Oh, I won't be the same.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you. So we have just one more song for you guys, which is a little sad. This has been so much fun. So our last one's called House on Fire, and the story for this song goes that we were married about 8 years ago this July, and when I was first married, I was not as wise as I am right now, which hopefully most of you who are married can say, but the story is I just didn't know how to deal with conflict, you know? We get married and I was 25 at the time, so younger, more foolish. So I'd say something foolish, thoughtless maybe, and we'd start a fight, and, it would start spiraling, you know what I mean? I'd keep talking, but I could tell the more I was talking, I was just making it worse and worse. So in my 25-year-old brain, I developed a brilliant strategy to deal with this. I said, the more I talk, the angrier you get, so I'm just going to stop talking and leave, and you'll be happy, right? No. Fool me once. So that did not solve the problem, but by the grace of God, we did get through a few fights. And, sometimes we would debrief afterwards. We'd be talking about it, and she'd say, when we were really mad, I didn't want you to just, go away. What I wanted was for you to come even closer to me. Just put your arm around me. Let me know that you love me. Let me know that you're there for me. And that was a bit of a revelation for me, because I said, that is the exact opposite signal I was picking up from you in those moments. I thought if I came any closer to you, you would kill me. But you want me to come close. I will make a note of this and try to adapt to this new lifestyle. But it was a great lesson for me, and it's been a great lesson not just for our marriage, but for the way we approach our friendships, the way we approach the people in our church, the way we approach our careers. Just because it's hard, just because it looks really terrifying, doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means just sometimes maybe you need to push into that even more. You need to engage with it and not run away from it, because that's where healing can come, that's where redemption can come, and that's where community can be built. So whatever that place is for your guys' life, I would just encourage you. It looks scary, I know it does, but just keep moving towards it, even if it feels like it's going to be the end of you. So that's what this song's about. It's called House on Fire.
Was raised to run away from anything on fire, and never told that everything gold was refined in flame. When it came to friction, I fixed my eyes onto the floor, and when they closed the door, I learned to do the same. I was taught that love was always easy, always fine. It never crossed my mind that we could ever be so far gone. The more I bite my tongue, the more we seem to fall apart. The more I start to think that maybe I was wrong. This is like running headlong straight into a hurricane. It's breaking down the door to a house on fire. All you wanted was to know that I was on your side. All I wanted was to keep the wolves at bay. I kept myself protected at the cost of being true. Oh, but I won't Would you say it again when the world is burning down? Would you say it again when the world is burning down? This is like running headlong straight into a hurricane. It's breaking down the door to a house on fire. It's closing in to panic and the pouring rain. It's fighting for the thing I most desire.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.